Wel, dit lyk vir my niemand gaan slaap vandag nie. Ek sien hoe gaap julle, maar julle dwing julle oogies en oortjies om oop te bly, sodat julle nog storie kan hoor. Nou goed, hier kom het. Nommer 49. It happened more frequently that after a merry evening, he lay late in bed the following morning and felt dull and tired. He would become annoyed and impatient when Kamaswami bored him with his worries. He would laugh too loudly when he lost at dice. His face was still more clever and intellectual than other people's, but he rarely laughed, and gradually his face assumed the expressions which are so often found among rich people. The expressions of discontent, of sickliness, of displeasure, of idleness, of lovelessness. Slowly, the soul sickness of the rich crept over him. Like a veil, like a thin mist, a weariness settled on Siddharta. Slowly, every day a little thicker, every month a little darker, every year a little heavier. As a new dress grows old with time, loses its bright colour, becomes stained and creased, the hems frayed, and here and there weak and threadbare places, so had Siddharta's new life, which he had begun after his parting from Govinda, become old. In the same way, it lost its colour and sheen with the passing of the years. Creases and stains accumulated, and hidden in the depths, here and there already appearing, waited disillusionment and nausea. Siddharta did not notice it. He only noticed that the bright and clear inward voice that had once awakened in him and had always guided him in his finest hours had become silent. The world had caught him, pleasures, covetousness, idleness, and finally also the vice that he had always despised and scorned as the most foolish, acquisitiveness. Property, possessions, and riches had also finally trapped him. They were no longer a game and a toy. They had become a chain and a burden. Siddharta wandered along a strange, twisted path of this last and most base declivity through the game of dice. Since the time he had stopped being a samana in his heart, Siddharta began to play dice for money and jewels with increasing fervour, a game in which he had previously smilingly and indulgently taken part as a custom of the ordinary people. He was a formidable player. Few dared play with him, for his stakes were so high and reckless. He played the game as a result of a heartfelt need. He derived a passionate pleasure through the gambling away and squandering of wretched money. In no other way could he show more clearly and mockingly his contempt for riches, the false deity of businessmen. So he staked high and unsparingly, hating himself, mocking himself. He won thousands, he threw away thousands, lost money, lost jewels, lost a country house, won again, lost again. He loved that anxiety, that terrible and oppressive anxiety which he experienced during the game of dice, during the suspense of high stakes. He loved this feeling and continually sought to renew it, to increase it, to stimulate it, for in this feeling alone did he experience some kind of happiness, some kind of excitement, some heightened living in the midst of his satiated, tepid, insipid existence. And after every great loss, he devoted himself to the procurement of new riches, went eagerly after business, and pressed his debtors for payment. For he wanted to play again, he wanted to squander again, he wanted to show his contempt for riches again. Siddharta, 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 jy soek moeilikheid. Nag my engeltjies, lekker slaap, lekker droom, lief vir julle.